Nice having you around. In this lesson, we're looking at naming cells and ranges. All the cells in Excel has implicit reference that can identify by the column and the row. However, you can create an explicit name for these cells that comes with benefit. The first benefit is that created names are easier to remember. You are exposed to less error when you are building your formulas. You can navigate between the worksheets or workbook with ease. Formulas are clearer. This formula is better than the second one. It serves as a means of documentation, but there are rules. The first rule says you cannot use R or C. Spaces are not allowed between words. You cannot start with a number. The only allowed symbol is the full stop or the underscore. You cannot use existing name. There are basically three ways to create a name for a cell or range. The first one is using the name box. The second one is using create from selection. And the third one is using the name manager or the define name. We'll demonstrate this in Excel. The name box is used to discover if a workbook or a worksheet has explicit name. You will discover that this workbook does not have any explicit name. Let's create the first one. I want to name this cell G1 growth rate. I'll go to the name box. Now you discover that there are no spaces between growth and rate. I'm going to register it by pressing the enter key. Now I also want to create name for these cells using the state, but I cannot be doing it one after the other because I have 36 states and Abuja making it 37. So my best option in this scenario is to use the create from selection. So I'm going to highlight this data set, pressing Ctrl A. I'll go to my create from selection. It gives me this dialog box. You discover that two of the check boxes are checked, top row and left column. The top row says it wants to use the name on the first row to name every other row beneath it, and the left column wants to use the left column to name every other column to the right. So since I'm not interested in this, I'm going to uncheck it. I'll click my OK button. Now if I go back to my name box, I will have the one I created initially and all the 37 name. But you discover that there is underscore between the state and between the name and the state, because the name I used actually has a space. So Excel will automatically insert the underscore. Names created using the name box or the create from selection as a workbook scope. That means I can call them from any of the sheets in the workbook. If I go to this sheet, February, and I go to my name box, I can call by SR state. When you want to make a name local to a sheet, you must specify the scope. In this case, I'm going to use my define name. So I want to name this cell exchange rate, but I want it to be local to only January sheets. I'm going to come here and specify January. And once I say OK, if I go to a different sheet, I'm not going to see that name exchange rate on that sheet because it is local to January alone. So when I come to January, I'm going to see the exchange rate. So that is how you can make a name local to a sheet. Note that every name that you created in Excel can be managed using the name manager. This will show you all the name, the value, the reference, and the scope. You will discover that my exchange rate scope is only visible on the January sheet. Thank you very much.